If you're not leading your life, someone else is. And guess what? They don't care where you end up. Let that sink in. Because whether you realize it or not, right now, someone is making decisions for you. It might be the algorithm feeding your distractions, the boss who determines your paycheck, the girl who defines your worth, or the fear in your own head calling the shots while you stand still. You think you're free? Think again. If you're not actively steering the ship, you're cargo, just along for the ride. Most men today are nothing more than followers. They follow trends. They follow comfort. They follow orders from people they don't even respect. They wake up, go through the motions, numb themselves with screens, junk food, porn, and empty pleasure, and call it life. But deep down, you know this isn't what you were built for. You weren't meant to be passive. You weren't meant to obey every impulse or submit to a system that rewards weakness. You were made to lead, to dominate, to conquer. And if you're not doing that, you're losing. Period. You're either the hammer or the nail, the predator or the prey. Life isn't soft. It never was. And the second you forget that, the second you start pretending it's all going to work out, eventually, if you just keep playing nice, you've already given up your power. The world is full of men who got played because they were too scared to take control. They thought patience would save them, that things would just fall into place. But life doesn't reward hesitation. It punishes it. No one's coming to save you. Not your parents, not your boss, not society. They don't owe you anything, and they won't lose sleep watching you drown. That's the cold truth. You can cry about it, blame the system, or scream, life's not fair, but it won't change reality. The only way out is to lead. Your mind, your actions, your future. Because if you keep waiting for someone else to fix your life, you'll die waiting. You're a lion raised in a zoo, comfortable, federal controlled, but you were never meant to be caged. Deep inside you, there's still the instinct to roam, to hunt, to rise. But that instinct is dying every day you let yourself live soft. You think you're safe, but you're not free. And the longer you stay in the cage, the harder it is to even remember what freedom feels like. The first step to being great is being completely sick of being average. Denzel said it best. And if you're not sick of being average yet, then maybe you haven't suffered enough. But if you are, if you're ready to stop watching your life get dictated by everything and everyone but you, then you're in the right place. Welcome to the channel. If you're ready to take back your power, like this video, share it with another man who needs to hear this, and subscribe. Because today, we start the war to reclaim your life. So now you're awake. Good. But before we go any further, you need to understand why this matters. This isn't about hype. This isn't about throwing out tough-sounding words just to make you feel fired up for 10 minutes and then forget everything by tomorrow. No, this is about something far more serious. Your identity, your purpose, and whether you leave this world with power or regret. Look around. The modern man is sedated. His fire's been smothered by convenience, sugar, screens, porn, TikTok loops, and weak routines that bleed his time and drain his spirit. He wakes up, scrolls, eats garbage, drags himself through a job he hates, and numbs himself at night until he sleeps just enough to repeat it all over again. He thinks he's living, but what he's really doing is dying slowly. The system has turned him into a pet. Trained, obedient, harmless. Masculinity has been watered down. Leadership has been outsourced. Men don't lead themselves anymore. They wait to be told what to do, what to eat, how to feel, what to believe. And if they dare question it, they're shamed for being toxic. So they stay quiet, passive, fragile. A man without a mission becomes a man who's easy to control. He becomes disposable, replaceable, forgotten. And you know what replaced purpose? Dopamine, quick hits, fast fixes, validation from strangers. The pleasure economy has castrated men one hit at a time, and they're too numb to fight back. But here's the danger. When you trade purpose for pleasure, you also trade your strength. Because real purpose isn't found in comfort. It's forged in fire. It's found in challenge, in resistance, in rising up when everything in you wants to stay soft. Why does this matter? Because a man who doesn't lead himself, his mind, his body, his mission, isn't a man. He's a slave. And this world is more than happy to keep you in chains. Your distractions are designed. Your confusion is manufactured. If you're not intentional, you'll be used by systems, by people, by everything that profits from your weakness. Leadership is no longer optional. It's survival. No leadership means no legacy. It means you'll live a small, forgettable life, where your potential rots quietly under a mask of, "I'm doing okay." It means you'll become just another man who dies full of unused greatness. And the worst part? You'll know it. Deep down, you'll know you could have done more. Could have been more. But you didn't take the wheel. You let life drive you off a cliff. Friedrich Nietzsche said it best. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. That is the nature of men. You either become the master of your impulses or a slave to someone else's agenda. There is no middle ground. Let me be clear. This isn't a lifestyle tweak. This isn't drink more water and set some goals. This is war. Because if you've spent years being led by fear, by comfort, by weakness, then reclaiming your life will feel like war. You will have to destroy the version of yourself that played small, that stayed quiet, that waited for permission. He has to die. Because he's the reason you're stuck. You don't need another self-help book. You don't need another top 5 habits video. You need war. You need confrontation. You need fire. And today, we declare it. Today, you take the crown back. No more excuses. No more hoping. No more waiting for a savior. You are the savior, the leader, the warrior, the builder. It all starts now. This video isn't just a lecture. It's a battlefield. Every section from here on out is a weapon. Every truth a bullet. Every challenge a sword. And by the end of this, you'll either rise or run. But if you're ready to rise, then grab your focus, sharpen your mind, and prepare for impact. Because the world doesn't need more passive men. It needs leaders. It needs you. Let's go deeper. Because now that you understand why self-leadership is everything, it's time to confront what's in the way. And I won't sugarcoat this part. It's going to sting. But that's the point. Growth never happens in comfort. So if any part of you is serious about becoming a stronger man, you need to feel the weight of the truth. No more filters. No more soft landings. Just raw reality. Let's start with the most common disease killing men today. Laziness. You say you're tired, but let me ask you something. What have you actually done to earn that fatigue? You didn't build anything. You didn't push yourself. You didn't go to war with your potential. You just coasted. You spent hours scrolling, binge-watching, eating trash, and wondering why you feel drained. That's not exhaustion. That's rot. Weak routines breed weak men. And most of you have routines that guarantee mediocrity. You wake up late, check your phone before you check your mindset, and then drift through a day that you didn't plan, working a job you hate, all while complaining that life isn't fair. You're not tired. You're unstructured. You're soft. And that's a choice. Let's talk about discipline, or more accurately, your lack of it. You say you don't have time. Bullshit asterisk T. You have plenty of time. You just waste it. Every hour you spend numbing your brain is an hour you could have been building, learning, grinding, lifting, leading. Time isn't your enemy. Your habits are. Every excuse you make is a leash tied around your neck. And the longer you wear it, the more you start to believe you belong in chains. And here's the hardest truth of all. You're not a victim. You're just undisciplined. That's it. Nobody's holding you back but you. Not your parents. Not your boss. Not society. You. The minute you stop looking for someone to blame is the minute you get your power back. But most men don't want power. They want pity. They want attention. They want to complain that life's hard without ever doing anything hard. Let's talk self-worth, because most men today don't have any. Not real self-worth. You think confidence comes from affirmations? From telling yourself you're enough? No. Confidence is earned. Through pain. Through progress. Through proving to yourself that you can overcome what once defeated you. But instead of earning it, you run. You run into porn, into video games, into cheap dopamine that give you a temporary high and leave you emptier than before. Every click, every escape, every fantasy you indulge in, it's a symptom of a man running from responsibility, from pressure, from purpose. You say you want respect, but you haven't done a single thing worthy of it. Respect doesn't come from being a good guy. It comes from being a strong man. Let's call it what it is you're hiding. And the version of you that's watching this right now, he's soft. He's a fraction of who you were meant to be. And that version, he's got to go. We have to kill him. Right here, right now. Because as long as he lives, your real life is on hold. You are a warrior in rusted armor. Your sword is dull. Your mind is cluttered. Your instincts are buried beneath fear and convenience. And the enemy is already inside your gates. That enemy is distraction, comfort, complacency. The only way out is to sharpen up, clean your armor, reclaim your weapons, and go to war. And if you're still making excuses, just remember what Jim Rohn said. We must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. There's no third option. Either you suffer now and earn your future, or you suffer later, wishing you had done something when it actually mattered. And let's be honest, discipline hurts. Waking up early hurts. Saying no to your cravings hurts. Pushing past your limits hurts. But regret? Regret destroys. Regret is waking up one day surrounded by failure and knowing it's all your fault. It's the realization that the man you could have been is dead, and you killed him by doing nothing. You think life is hard now? Try living it with regret. Try waking up in your 40s or 50s with a body you let rot, a mind you let weaken, a life you let slip through your fingers. Try explaining to your kids why you never built anything worth passing down. That's not just painful, that's hell. But here's the opportunity. You don't have to stay stuck. You can rise. You can choose the pain of progress over the pain of regret. You can decide, today, to become the man who leads himself. The man who doesn't wait for motivation. The man who moves anyway. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be relentless. Discipline isn't about feeling ready. It's about showing up regardless. It's about doing the work when it sucks. When you're tired. When no one's watching. That's where masculinity is forged. That's where leadership is born. Because discipline isn't about what you do. It's about who you are. Are you a man who acts despite resistance? Or are you a man who folds the moment things get uncomfortable? One of those men leads. The other gets led. It's time to be honest. Brutally honest. About your routines. Your habits. Your mindset. Your addictions. Nothing changes until you own them. No more numbing. No more blaming. Just pure, raw accountability. And I'll say it again. You are not a victim. You're not cursed. You are simply undisciplined. But discipline can be built. Strength can be earned. Fire can be rekindled. So let's get to work. Now that you've stared the truth in the face, now that you've admitted the version of yourself that exists right now isn't fit for war, it's time to build, to lead, to rise. This is where the talk ends and the doing begins. Because no man becomes dangerous without daily action. It's not about motivation. It's not about vibes. It's about discipline, repetition, and force of will. Self-leadership isn't some abstract idea. It's a system, a way of living, a code, one that you commit to with blood and sweat every single day. This next phase is your blueprint. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to transform you, one action at a time. Step 1, rule your mind. This is where everything starts. Because if your mind is chaotic, your life will be too. You cannot lead your life if you can't lead your thoughts. So first thing every morning, before your phone, before the world hijacks your focus, right? Journal like your life depends on it. Lay out your thoughts, your fears, your mission. Create a battle plan for the day. You are a commander. Your life is your battlefield. Add to that 10 minutes of pure silence. Sit down, close your eyes, and just breathe. No music, no apps, no distractions. Focus on your breath like it's a weapon. Watch your thoughts like a general watches his troops. This is mental warfare. Conquer your mind, or your mind will conquer you. Step 2, build wealth. No man leads with empty pockets. Your dreams mean nothing if you can't fund them. And no woman, no child, no community will trust a man who can't provide. Learn a high-income skill. 1, that's all it takes. Copywriting, sales, coding, design, trading. Pick your weapon. Master it. Track every dollar. Know where your money goes. Ditch emotional spending. You're not buying feelings anymore. You're buying freedom. Every financial decision should move you closer to independence. Because a broke man is a distracted man, a desperate man, and desperation is weakness. Step 3. Train relentlessly. Your body is your armor. If it's soft, you're vulnerable. If it's strong, you're dangerous. Start with the basics. Strength training. Calisthenics. Walk at least 10,000 steps a day. This isn't about aesthetics, it's about readiness. A man who can run, fight, lift, and endure is a man who commands respect without saying a word. Start small. 20 push-ups a day. Doesn't matter if you struggle. Just start. Push until 20 feels easy, then go for 50, then 100. And one day, you'll hit 200 and laugh at the man who once gave up at 20. That's what progress tastes like. Step 4. Feel like a warrior. You can't lead if you're inflamed, sluggish, and foggy. What you eat is either sharpening your blade or dulling it. Ditch the sugar. Kill the seed oils. Eat like a warrior. Meat, eggs, greens, fruit, water. Fuel that supports fire, not weakness. Stop eating like a child. Stop treating your body like a trash can. Because garbage in equals garbage out. The body fuels the mind. Eat like you mean it. When your brain is clean, your focus sharpens. Your aggression stabilizes. Your willpower strengthens. Food is a weapon. Start wielding it like one. Step 5. Solve one problem daily. This is how confidence is built. You don't wait for life to test you. You test yourself. Every morning, pick one problem. Something uncomfortable. Something meaningful. And crush it. Could be a difficult conversation. A business task. A workout you've been avoiding. Doesn't matter what it is, just attack it. Do this every day. Stack 30 wins in 30 days. And watch what happens. Your brain starts to believe in you again. Your body follows. Your energy compounds. Most men are stuck because they never win. You will be different. Solve one problem. Every day. Without fail. No excuses. No buts. You're building momentum. And momentum is how warriors rise. This is your system. Rule your mind. Build your wealth. Train like a savage. Eat like a king. Win your day. You don't need a life coach. You don't need another podcast. You need this code and the will to live by it. No shortcuts. No compromises. Leadership is a habit. You either practice it daily or you surrender it by default. These steps, they're not suggestions. They're not tips. They're orders. The man you want to become is on the other side of these disciplines, and no one else can walk that path for you. So now the question is, will you lead or will you continue to drift? You've heard the call. You've seen the cost. The choice is yours. And if you choose to lead, start today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because once this system is embedded into your bones, you'll start walking like a leader, thinking like a leader, and eventually, you'll become one. Not by title, not by status, but by energy, by force, and the world will feel it. Now sharpen your blade. Lace up your boots. Your war begins now. So now you've got the system. You know the actions. But if you don't embody the mindset, if you don't live the identity of a masculine leader, none of it will last. Because habits without belief are fragile. Discipline without identity is temporary. What we're building now is permanent. This is about etching a code into your bones so deep that it becomes who you are. You don't just do the things a strong man does. You become the kind of man who does them without question. You walk differently. You speak differently. You don't chase respect, you command it. Not through loudness, but through presence. It starts with 5 mindsets. 5 pillars, 5 habits that separate leaders from followers, warriors from victims. 1. Mental toughness. Discipline is not sexy. It's not fun. It's pain now for power later. But this is the backbone of masculine strength, doing what you said you'd do long after the mood you set it in has passed. The moment your alarm rings, you're already in combat. Don't hit snooze. That's not just a delay. It's a statement. It's you telling your subconscious that comfort is king, that your word means nothing. You don't negotiate with weakness. You dominate it. The voice in your head that says, just this once, kill it. Every time you ignore it, you sharpen your blade. Every time you listen to it, you rust. Mental toughness is earned in 1,000 little decisions, made in silence when no one's watching. It's what makes you formidable. 2. Physical mastery. You can't outsource strength. It's not a trend, it's primal. A man who lacks physical control lacks everything. You don't need to be a bodybuilder, but you need to be strong, capable, a protector. Your body is your first weapon. If it's weak, you are weak, no matter how sharp your mind is. Weak men invite disrespect and chaos. They look away when spoken to. They fold when challenged. Not because they're bad, but because their instincts know they can't handle pressure. Physical training isn't just about fitness. It's about programming yourself to face difficulty, to push limits, to refuse to break. Every rep is a declaration. I am not prey. 3. Financial focus. You cannot lead a family, a mission, or even yourself if you're financially lost. Freedom is built on control, and that means owning your income streams. You don't need to be rich, but you do need to be intentional. Track your money like a general tracks his army. Spend with purpose. Invest with foresight. Save with aggression. Men who fear their bank account live on a leash. They tolerate bad jobs, toxic people, and soulless routines because they're desperate. But you build leverage. You learn skills. You stack income. You don't wait for opportunity. You manufacture it. The world doesn't respect broke opinions. So get your money up, not for greed, but for power. 4. Emotional control. Masculine energy is calm under fire. You don't explode. You don't whine. You don't flinch. You observe. You think. Then you move with precision. Reacting is for children. Responding is for warriors. Let other men get baited. You stay centered. When you speak, speak to command. When you raise your voice, it should shake the room. Not for volume, but from weight. Emotions are not weakness, but being ruled by them is. Master your inner world, and no external chaos can touch you. You become untouchable, not by armor, but by self-control. 5. Spiritual code. A man without a code is a man easily broken. You need something above yourself, something you serve, even when your feelings waver. God, family, legacy, mission, doesn't matter what it is, so long as it's higher than your ego. Principles over pleasure. Purpose over popularity. This is your anchor when the storms hit. It keeps your soul grounded, because money fades. Looks fade. Status fades. But a man who lives by a code never fades. He builds something eternal. Even if his name is forgotten, the impact remains. That's what masculinity is. Not just how loud you speak. Not how many women you've had. It's how many times you've looked fear in the face and stood still. How many battles you've fought silently. How many people could lean on you without question. This is what separates a man from a male. And here's the truth. None of these traits are born. They're built. You become mentally tough by suffering with purpose. You build physical mastery by pushing when it hurts. You lock in financial focus by saying no to short-term pleasure. You gain emotional control by breathing through chaos. And you find your spiritual code when you're on your knees, broken, and you choose to rise anyway. You won't get there overnight, but you're not supposed to. This isn't a sprint. It's a lifetime of sharpening. You fall. You adjust. You return. That's the path. That's the way. Robert Greene wrote, "The future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them creatively." This in simple terms means stop whining. Start stacking skills. Because skills are how you build power. Habits are how you sustain it. And mindset, that's how you make it unbreakable. You want to be a dangerous man? Start by mastering these 5. Make them your daily ritual. Not when you feel like it. Every day. No compromise. No apology. Because when you become the man who lives this way, you don't need to prove anything. The world feels your presence. Now we build the kingdom. One mindset, one habit, one battle at a time. You got the blueprint now. You've seen what's possible. You've been handed the weapons, mental toughness, physical strength, financial discipline, emotional control, a spiritual code. But here's where most men fall off. Not because they don't have the tools, but because they still cling to excuses. They still lie to themselves. And the truth is, you can't build a kingdom with softness in your soul. This is the part where we cut the fluff. No more sugarcoating. No more feel-good motivation. You want change? Then you've got to face the reality you've been avoiding. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your feelings. It only responds to action. And if you're still sitting around thinking about it, researching, planning, then you're not in motion. You're just hiding. Here's the raw truth. You're not broken. You're unused. You've been sitting on potential for years, telling yourself stories about how you're just waiting for the right time or trying to figure things out. But that's a lie. The truth? You're scared. Scared of failing. Scared of judgment. Scared of doing the hard things that growth demands. And that fear, it's been dressing itself up in productivity. You call it preparation, but it's just procrastination in a suit and tie. You're not working on it. You're stalling. You're watching videos, reading quotes, buying books, and still not executing. If that stings, good. That means it's real. That means it's hitting where it needs to hit. Because pain is not your enemy. Pain is your tuition. It's the price of progress. Every hard decision, every brutal workout, every disciplined choice, that's you paying the price. And the more you pay, the more you own your life. Stop treating pain like it's punishment. It's the down payment on power. You want to be dangerous? Then you better learn to love discomfort like it's fuel. And speaking of comfort, let me be clear, comfort is the enemy. Every comfortable choice is a betrayal of your future self. Every time you choose the easy path, the soft option, the momentary pleasure, you're putting your legacy on pause. And eventually, the pause becomes permanent. You don't just wake up weak. You become weak, one lazy decision at a time. You say you're tired, but you haven't earned fatigue. You're not tired, you're uninspired. You don't lack energy. You lack purpose. You're scrolling, watching, eating, avoiding, and wondering why you feel empty. It's because your soul is starving. You haven't given it a mission to fight for. You haven't fed it the fire it needs to stay alive. You want energy? Find your why. And don't let it be some shallow, surface-level goal. I want more money won't cut it. I want abs won't keep you in the game when life gets dark. You need something deeper. Something that grabs your spine and pulls you forward when everything else tells you to quit. Without a reason, you'll rot. With it, you'll rise. You got to stop negotiating with yourself. You don't need permission to take control. You don't need validation to get started. You need war. You need fire. You need to kill off the old version of yourself that's been dragging you down for years. That man, he's soft. He's scared. He's silent. Bury him. This isn't a game. This isn't a phase. This is life and death for your spirit. Because if you don't become the man you were meant to be, no one else will do it for you. No one is coming to push you. No one is going to force you to be disciplined. That's on you. Always has been. Always will be. And here's the final cut of truth. The version of you that stays soft dies forgotten, buried beneath years of wasted potential and quiet regret. But the version of you that steps up, the one who leads, who fights, who refuses to quit, he built a legacy, and he doesn't need applause to do it. So here's the line. You're standing on it. One step forward, and you leave the excuses behind forever. One step back, and you go back to the world of average, where it's comfortable, but nothing ever changes. Your call. You've heard the hard truths. You felt the sting of brutal honesty. And if you're still here, it means something inside you is waking up. That fire, that ancient primal fire buried under layers of excuses and soft living, is starting to burn again. That's not by accident. It's because deep down, you know you're not meant to live like this. Half alive, half engaged, half a man. You're not meant to be a background character in your own story. You were built to lead, to command, to carve paths where none existed. But here's the reality. If you're not leading, you're being led. And what's worse, most of the time, you're being led by things that are beneath you. Algorithms, addictions, weak opinions from weaker people. That's not leadership, that's slow death. If you're being led by distraction, you're not free. If you're being led by comfort, you're not growing. If you're being led by fear, you're already defeated. This is your line in the sand. The moment where you choose. Do you keep drifting, or do you rise up and take your damn power back? And I don't mean temporary motivation. I'm not talking about feeling hyped for 10 minutes and then going back to scrolling your phone. I'm talking about an initiation, a transformation, a decision to step into something real, to enter a brotherhood, not of weak men trying to find balance, but of obsessed, dangerous, driven men who attack life with purpose. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being committed, relentlessly, ruthlessly, daily, no matter how tired, no matter how tempted, no matter how alone you feel. Because the truth is, you're not alone. Look around. This channel isn't just a platform. It's a forge. And you are the steel. Every man watching this who's had enough of living soft is sharpening beside you. So here's your creed. Comment below. I choose leadership. Let that be your war cry, your public declaration. The moment you stop hiding, the moment you draw a line and say, no more. No more comfort. No more weakness. No more following. Como it. Own it. Live it. Now listen. Like this video if it punched through the fog. Share it with another man who's been drifting in the dark, because you might be the spark that brings him back to life. Subscribe if you're done pretending that average is acceptable, because it's not. Not for you. Not for anyone who calls himself a man. And remember this, you don't need more time. You need more fire. The fire to wake up before the sun. The fire to train when you're tired. The fire to lead when everyone else is lost. The fire to build something that outlives you. That fire is in you. Always has been. But only you can choose to fan it into a blaze. Now go build your kingdom. Let your life like it matters, because it does. And never follow again.